Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The Grand Mufti of Scotland has been warned not to pursue the gender reform bill through the Supreme Court. Already, the SNP government have racked up about £230,000 worth of bills. The UK government have racked up about £150,000. Between them, that's £380,000. That's assuming that Alistair Jack bills the SNP for his legal costs, which of course is his legal right to do so. That's a lot of money. But if the fool on the hill decides that yes, he will pursue it because his green overlords tell him to, then that bill could hit as high as £2 million. £2 million wasted. Money they do not have. Money the taxpayers don't wish to spend on the dreams of the SNP and their weird coalition partners. Simply, as well, given that they're going to lose it regardless. He still hasn't published the legal advice he sought when taking it to appeal in the first place. We know why. Because that legal advice would say, for heaven's sake, don't do it. And if that is the case and he still proceeded, then the bill must be payable by him personally, I think. But we'll have a look at this to see why the money will increase exponentially, why the costs will rise so much, and yet why he will still lose. Which is why Alistair Jack is saying, for heaven's sake, don't do it. Here goes. So there he is. The turd has been warned of £2 million gender bill unless he backs down from the appeal. The Scottish Government is under pressure to drop any future legal pursuit of the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, with Alistair Jack honing in on a £1 million price tag each. You add on all the other things, it's going to be £2 million, isn't it? Taking the Gender Recognition Reform Bill to the Supreme Court could cost taxpayers £2 million in fees, warns Alistair Jack. The Scottish Secretary of State urged the Grand Mufti not to be bullied by the Scottish Greens, who see the GRR bill as a red line issue, and warned the UK government was considering seeking the cost of their court win. Despite this and its unpopularity, the First Minister has failed to rule out another legal battle. He knows that if he says, no, I'm not doing it, then the Greens will walk, in his mind. That's what they've said. Oh, it's our red line issue, blah, 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 and a load of old rubbish it is too. Because there is no way on God's green earth that the Greens will get up and walk out of power over this. They have got their arses in those seats. They are superglued there, and they're enjoying all the fun and palaver of being in power, and, of course, all that great salary for while they're sitting there. So they're not going to walk. Comes you stuff and just turn around and say, Sodger. Oh, I've said his name again. I do apologise. Can't be only saying that name. Comes out, can't help it. Anyway, he could tell them to walk, and they won't walk. Unless he actually fires them and breaks the Butte House Agreement, they ain't going nowhere. And it's not as though he wants this bill either. After all, he was the one who avoided voting. So it's quite clear he doesn't want it. So he could just use it and say, now, we'll drop it now. Look, £2 million, I can't afford it. But will they let him? Will they phone him up and say, you've got to do it? And will he bend? Of course he will. He'll bend the knee and kiss the ring. Because he ain't got the balls, has he? Kendall won't have the ability to say no, because that takes a spine, and he ain't got one of them. He's a jellyfish. Anyway, Mr. Jack said that this, any appeal, could lead to a staggering total cost that could end up as what he calls the thick end of $2 million after an exponential increase. Almost $230,000 has been spent on the court of session case for on the SNP side. Ended ruling in the favour of the UK government, and saying that they'd acted properly in blocking the bill due to the impacts on the Equality Act. Mr. Jack said the UK government's costs had so far been £150,000. Bill him, bill them, hand them the bill, make them pay it. They're already bankrupt. They're £1 billion in the hole. Well, £2 billion in the hole. Keep adding to it. Make it worse. Show the people of Scotland how bad the SNP are. Because most of them know, of course, the majority know, but even then, every time you do something, it may just peel away a few more SNP supporters. And that's no bad thing. The Scottish Government is under pressure to say what it will do with the controversial legislation. The issue will be raised at Holyrood and with a topic discussed at the Scottish Affairs Committee at Westminster. And it was during this meeting that Mr Jack said, if this was to go to the inner court of session, you could easily double that up. And if it was then to go to the Supreme Court, you could double that again. It's an exponential increase. You'll end up at the thick end of £2 million. Mr Jack added he's minded to seek costs from the Scottish Government on UK government legal spending and having those discussions with our law officers. I hope he does. I really do. He says, my fear is that the FM is held to ransom by his Green partners, and if he's bullied by Harvey, Slater and Greer, then that is a weakness. It will lead to an utter waste of taxpayers' money at a time when they're saying they have budget constraints. Yeah, we can't afford to pay you anymore, but all of a sudden we can find £2 million to whack away on a court case we know we cannot win, but I need to do it to keep the little green turds inside government. No, you don't. Let them go. Let them go. They won't. If you open those doors and say you're free if you want to be, they won't move. They'll grip those chairs as tight as they can to make sure they extract every last penny in salary from the taxpayer. Mr Yousaf said, we will consider legal advice, we'll consider other factors with urgency and with pace. He said there's a very narrow window to make a decision on any appeal. It's down to about 16 days now. And we've not come to a decision yet because we have to consider important issues like the legal advice. The Scottish Government will be asked later today if they plan to pursue another court battle. And of course, they're planning. Yes, they're planning on it. Whether they will or not, it depends on the size of Ken Doll's balls. And we know that they don't exist. There are none. Smooth down the front, isn't he? So, of course, he'll chase it. He'll push it. He has to. He's got no option because he daren't not. You know, Harvey will say, you will pursue it. And Hamza, Dick will get up off his knees, you know, pucker his lips. And after kissing the green arse, will say, yes, Master. Master's good. Good to Master. You know. Dobby will sue. Dobby will take it to the Supreme Court, Master. Well, we Jobby, as we'll call him, Jobby can take it to the Supreme Court. He can spend all that money and he'll lose. He'll be humiliated. And, of course, that's assuming he's still in power by the next 16 days. TikTok. They got the meeting today, haven't they? Wonder what will come at the end of that. Will Jobby be ending his career today? Want to hope so. I'll round off. I'll come up and we'll finish the video. And I do apologise. I keep meaning to not say his name. But I keep doing it. Coming up. There you go. Underfunding the councils, underfunding the NHS, underfunding the schools, underfunding everything. But I bet he can find £2 million to push through a law that nobody wants, that he doesn't believe in, and that will be damaging to Scotland. And the thing is, he won't even win. He'll take it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will say no. Because it isn't about the law now. The whole thing is about whether Alistair Jack has the right to do it. And that's been proven that he does. What a waster. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do keep an eye on the next one. We've got a couple more videos to go, but the next one's quite good. I've seen it. I know what it's about. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.